hand painting glasses for the beverages you make.
I'm Greg.
I'm Julie, and we're the Crafty Winers.
I'm here basically as an observer today.
As an observer, so I have started doing some preparation for Christmas. So I've been hand painting some glasses, both beer glasses and wine glasses, and thought it would be a good idea to do a video about it so you guys can see the process that I use to paint these. And I am not an artist. That's a disclaimer right now. I am not artistic at all. So
And
if
I'm
I can do
Chris.
it, if I can do it, you can do it.
And I can't do it, but
You'd be
neither here
surprised.
nor there.
So first thing you want to make sure is wash your glass well in hot water and soap or right out of the dishwasher. And I use this lovely nitrile glove to help with not getting my oils all over
I
it.
feel like I'm at the doctor.
I should tell you to cough. And then to prep it, I use these alcohol swabs, which will link for you. The reason I use these is because you can use cotton balls and just alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, but these won't leave any lint behind. So I clean the entire surface, well, more than the entire surface of where I think this is going to go with this.
This is not alcohol we made.
No, it is not. And you don't want to drink it. And then you want to let that dry. And I use a couple of different types of stencils. These ones are made by Armor, and they're pretty cool. I use these ones more for etching because they actually are self-adhesive, and you can get them really tight so that the cream doesn't run over, but you can use them for painting as well. I don't recommend painting right on the stencil because some of these have really tiny little holes and the paint will fill those holes up and won't actually go through it, and then you ruined your stencil too. So I trace them with a Sharpie, thin fine point Sharpie. For this particular one, I'm going to use these, and these are not meant for etching. So don't try to use these for etching because they won't completely seal against your glass, but it does work for painting. And they are flexible, but they don't completely conform to a round surface, so I'll show you how I deal with that.
Doesn't stick to the glass.
Yeah. So I use painter's tape to get this on. And I only wear one glove because this tape sticks to the glove if I wear two gloves, so it handicaps me. So I'm going to put this where I want it, and I'm down a little lower than I normally am when I do this. Just position this where you want it. It's a snowflake, so it doesn't have to be completely straight.
Snowflakes a lot of times aren't straight.
I'm not sure how to tape that. I just tape that down. It doesn't have to be super taped down. It's just basically to keep it from moving when you trace it. Like I said, I'm fighting with the painter's tape. Oh, it already came off. And really with the tape, you just want to make sure you don't cover up anything that you're wanting to trace. Otherwise, it can be messy. And mine obviously is. Okay, so once you get that on there, some of these do better than others because they don't have a lot of little pokey things like this one. This one, as you can see, all these want to poke out. If you really wanted to be time consuming, you could probably roll up little pieces of tape and stick them under here to make them stay down, but I just hold them down with my fingers. So I use this Sharpie, fine tip Sharpie, and I just start tracing.
This is a special Sharpie so that will write on glass well, apparently.
It's actually just a regular Sharpie, just fine tip. And once you paint it, you can't see the Sharpie anymore. And I won't make you watch me do this entire process. So we will cut to the next step. Okay, so I've got this all traced out, and as I was going through these ones, I just hold it down with my finger, and I use the gloved hand so it doesn't leave residue behind. I'm just going to take this off so you can see the outline. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this is freehand painting after this point anyway, and it's supposed to look handmade. And it does when I do it for sure.
It would look left-hand made if I made it.
And some of you guys out there are probably a lot more artistic than I am and could do this without a stencil and just freehand it. And if you can do that, please show me your work. I will be very impressed. Okay, so set that to the side. So I don't know if you can see this real well or not, but it's got a real fine tip black outline of the snowflake that I am going to paint. So I'll talk about the paints that I use here for a second before we start painting. This is Colorful. That's really the name of the brand. Colorful Glass Colors.
With a U or without a U?
Color.
Okay. Chinese.
Full. It is.
They
I'm
always
sure
use
it's
They
Chinese.
use British spelling on it.
Yep. So it's Colorful Glass Colors.
Oh, that colors doesn't have a U.
No, it doesn't.
Interesting.
Colorful. Oh, they have a smiley face in the middle.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Still Chinese.
Comes in. There's lots of different kits you can get. This one says that it's dishwasher safe. I wouldn't trust that. I would hand wash these for sure and tell your friends that you give them to hand wash. So this comes, there's a whole bunch of colors, and then you can obviously mix and match to make other colors, which I'm actually going to do. And these are liquid paints, your basic acrylic paints. And this kit comes with some brushes, and I had some of my own from other kits as well. I'm going to use these paints for this particular glass, but I also have these, which are a lot harder to show. I'm going to just hold this up. These are actually pens with acrylic paint in them, and these are definitely not dishwasher safe. So you want to hand wash anything you do with this. The
You
paint.
wouldn't put the pen in the dishwasher anyway, probably.
Thank you for clearing that up. Yes, please don't put the pen in the dishwasher, but they look like this. And just take the cap off, and they have basically what looks like a felt tip marker tip on them. And when you first get these, I've already done this to these, but there's instructions on here too. You have to push this down the first time, and you see I've already done it because I got paint on my glove, and then you dab this down on like a paper towel or something until you start getting paint out. After that, you don't have to do it anymore, but I would recommend shaking them every time. These are easier to use for smaller, more detailed things like a star, which I've used this one. It was easier with these pens than it is freehand because, like I said, I'm not super artistic. So these are nice too, and I'll show you an example of one I've done with these.
So as far as the dishwasher safe part of this, since these are glasses, and I know you don't know the answer, but I'm going to ask it. Maybe somebody will know and can comment below. But we bought the spray on acrylic that you can get from art stores, and Walmart carries it, and obviously Amazon carries everything, so they'll have it. But we used that on labels before we found some that were mostly waterproof. But you can spray it on really carefully because it runs, and you can put it on too thick or whatever. But you probably could use that to make this fairly dishwasher safe after the paint dries.
Except for
We haven't tried it though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So maybe if somebody's tried that and it works or doesn't work,
there might be
comment below.
There might be a type of it that you can brush on, and that would work better because you're going to overspray this whole thing,
Right.
and it might look weird on the
Something
glass.
that is waterproof that you could paint on top of the paint
Yeah.
to make it waterproof or heat. Dishwasher is more than just water. It's water and heat and pressure.
Right.
So it takes a special thing. But neither of these, without some kind of additional protection, are going to be dishwasher safe.
No, they're not. And most hand painted things aren't, so people should be used to that. I can't tip this because I have water in it, but this comes with this kit also. It's a little tiny artist.
Michelangelo
What do you
used
call
one
that
of
thing?
those.
What's the thing? What do you call it? Palette?
Palette.
Yeah.
That's a Michelangelo thing.
I've got water in the middle of it. It is. And I'm going to use some white and some dark blue. And then I'm going to mix some dark blue and white to make a lighter icy blue.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at me getting all fancy. And then, which one do I want to use? I think this one.
All of these things will be linked in the description below. Mostly, probably, maybe everything from Amazon, possibly some things from Walmart.
And you can just mix and match these colors to your heart's desire. And this one's a little bit more blue than I want it to be, so I'm going to add a little bit more white. I got a nice, I don't know, what do you call that blue? Sky blue?
Let me go with sky. Idaho sky blue.
I'm going to rinse off my...
Now your water is also Idaho sky blue.
Normally, just as a disclaimer, I actually use a larger, like, what are those little cups that we have? What are they called?
Cups.
Yeah, sauce cups. I use that instead because this little tray doesn't hold very much water and I have to change it out a lot and that annoys me. But you do have the option of using this. One thing to point out is when you're painting this, don't put your glove or your fingers on where the Sharpie is because it will come off and you'll just have to redraw your little mark.
For a while. The longer that stays on glass, the more permanent it becomes.
But as you're working with it, it rubs right off. I've done it many times. And then we're not gonna go through the whole process of this on tape because I'm slow, but and there's a glare right here, so it makes it much harder. I just start going through my tracing, and like I said, you don't have to be perfect. This is supposed to look hand painted, and I'm just following the lines, and I'll keep doing that until I get done with this, but it's going to take me like an hour, so you don't have to you don't have to sit here and watch me painstakingly do this. So we'll cut to my finished product. Okay, so this is my finished glass.
It's very nice.
And I kind of I did some solid colors with the dark blue and the light blue and then the white, and then I drug some of that color back through to give it like more depth. But you can do whatever you want to.
So the black just becomes like an accent.
Yeah,
the marker.
Yeah.
Put on first time.
And I don't ever stay completely in the lines. I just kind of make my own little shape, but the lines give me something to work with and guide me because otherwise this wouldn't look like a snowflake when I was done with it. So that is what this looks like. And then I will show you on another glass using the pens. Okay, so this one I'm using this cool little wreath for, so I've got it all prepped just like I did for the other paint, and then I'm going to trace this with my Sharpie and we'll be back. Okay, so I got that all traced. I'm going to take this off. You'll notice I took my glove off for a second because I wasn't touching any of the glass that I'm going to be painting on and everything was sticking to my glove. I'm going to put it back on now though. Maybe. I don't know how doctors do this every day. So you'll see I've got, can you see?
I see a missing line.
Uh-oh, what did I do? Ugh. Okay.
I think you can probably guess where it goes.
I can. Okay, so I've got the wreath outline on here, and he pointed out that I missed a little line, so I'm going to freehand draw that in.
Wow.
Look at that. Maybe if I could see past the glare. All right, there we go. Now it's got a side. Okay, so then you can pick out whatever colors you want. I think I'm going to do a red for the bow and the little holly berries. At least I think that's what those are. I'm calling them holly berries. And maybe some yellow for the stars.
Isn't she an actress?
That's Halle Berry. Holly Berry. Yeah, it works. And then maybe alternating greens for the leaves. And maybe gold for the bells. That makes sense, right? I've got 2 shades of gold, so I can do an accent. Okay, so when you get these, when you open this up, you're going to be annoyed because every single one of these is individually wrapped. So I had to go through all 24 of these and individually unwrap
Tell
them.
you why, because they dry out.
Yeah. So
So as soon as you unwrap them, their lifetime starts.
probably. These I've already done this too. I've already primed these because I've used these colors before. I don't think I've used this blue or whatever you call it. It's a shade of blue. So the first time you take these out, you have to depress that, which lets the air out. And you only have to do that the first time. And then I just take a paper towel and dab it until the paint starts coming out, and then it's ready to use.
I can almost promise you that these are good for a month or so, probably after you start using them. So you have to plan on buying them every year that you're going to use them, I'm thinking.
So you'll see now the paint's coming
Once
out.
they've come out of the plastic.
We'll see how, I don't know how long they'll last. These are fairly new to me, so that blue is coming out now, so it's ready to use, but I'm not going to use it on this particular glass because it's too springy for Christmas. So basically I'm just going to start with my greens, and I'm going to start with the darker green, and it really is just like drawing on here. You just go like this, follow your lines, and then you can fill it in.
Wow, I could maybe do this.
Just like that. I'll do one more leaf, and then I won't make you sit through the rest of this, though this one doesn't take me nearly as long because these pens are kind of cool. And just like that.
You do one coat?
You could do more if you wanted to. I've only used it once. Sometimes if I miss a little spot, I'll go back over it. But that's just as easy as that. And then we'll cut through to the final product. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's all done.
Pretty.
And of course, you can use whatever colors you want to, but yeah, it's really not too hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And it turns out every one of them is just a little bit different because obviously you're doing them by hand, so it's kind of a special gift that people know you put some thought into and some time, and they really do take some time. And I think it's special. I appreciate gifts like that. So
you could put somebody's name on it if you wanted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I don't think I have them in this pack down here, but this one has some in it.
That's one you don't use with the markers?
I wouldn't use it with the markers. Well, you could use the markers, but I would trace these out first. But these are all cursive letters, and some of these come with, there's block letters, and there's a whole lot of different things. So yes, you can do people's names. These are all holiday stencils with candy canes and different things like that. So yep, there's a lot of things you can do, and these armor ones are great for etching, and they do stick to the glass, so they'd be good for doing an outline as well.
And speaking of etching, that's the next video that we're recording. She's going to show
Etching.
doing etching instead of painting.
Yep.
So we'll link that above.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your time. I hope you try this, and if you do, put pictures up so I can see them because I really like handcrafted things. So if you do that or ask questions, comments, we will respond to you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.
And you know, we should be cheersing in those glasses, but I guess under the circumstances.
I guess we should. We should, but you know.
Cheers.
Cheers.